Good morning, especially to our professor, Dr. Regosivilla A. Pubar, to my fellow doctorants. Let's talk about administration and management of human resources in education. Administration is a universal process which characterizes all group efforts, public or private, large and small scale. Technically, it is the organization, direction, and coordination and control of human and material resources to achieve the desired ends. Let us have now a comparison between a modern and outmoded leader. A modern leader still makes decisions, but with prior consultation with at least a representative sample, those who are affected by the decisions, prefers group decisions, while an outmoded one makes decision by himself and issues directives and edicts. A modern leader systematically delegates the responsibilities to others with commensurate authority to act, while an outmoded one delegates few, if any, responsibilities to others, often meddles the subordinates, leaving uncertain and baffled. A modern administrator senses problems before they arise and avoids the crisis by effective group planning, while the outmoded leader waits until new crisis arises before trying to meet. Conceives effective planning as one of his important job and utilizes members of his own staff who are adept and specialists. This is a work of a modern leader. While an outmoded leader, planning is inadequate for him or non-existent and usually is the result of his own snap judgment or inspiration of the moment. Long range plan when necessary. I have here a case, a sample. Mr. Santos was a school administrator. One day he was talking to the meeting about management. He said, among other things, one does not have to have a good qualities as a leader, but he has to appear to have them. Maintain a social distance from employees so they can judge you from a distance rather from a closer range. In your own opinion, based on this case, what is the effect of this behavior towards leadership upon employee morale? Let us continue with the comparison between a modern and an outmoded leader. A modern one associates with staff and community with respect on the basis of equality as a person, while an outmoded one keeps to himself aloof from members of his staff, except when he holds center of the stage. A modern leader encourages new ideas and initiative among his constituents and staff, regulates channels, and utilizes suggestions. An outmoded leader dislikes or resents any member of the staff who has original ideas or makes suggestions for improvement. If you are a modern leader, you have a big enough to want people who have stature in their own rights around him to advise him. You help individuals to become more effective leaders. However, if you are an outmoded leader, you like to surround yourself with yes men and seeks to employ people who are safe, thus leads to mediocrity of the staff. A modern leader walks through service training of others, selection of strong staff, and delegation of responsibility builds a program that can operate without him. The other tries to build up the myth that he is indispensable administrative. A modern administrative function makes continuous or periodic evaluation on the basis of finding analysis and remediation. But if one is outmoded, he usually unwilling to use factual studies of his organization as basis of improvement. A modern administrator or leader is willing to give friendly help to staff, but in such manner that each is as self-sufficient as possible, while an outmoded one practices a fawning paternalism in dealing with the staff and constituents. A great leader budget matters discussed broadly and decided in terms of the best interest of children and parents, while an awkward leader, budget matters are decided in terms of self-interest of favored politicians and taxpayers. If one is a modern leader, he knows how to develop written operating policy and objectives and widely distributed, usually in consultation of others. But an outmoded one always avoid overall policies and objectives so that each situation often based on extraneous consideration. Now, we have comparison. We have first column values, the second column clinical supervision, and the third column talks about traditional supervision. The first value, aim. So let's talk about aim. For a clinical supervision, aim is to help improve instruction. But for traditional one, evaluation instruction. Second value, basis. What is the basis of all the actions? Basis for clinical supervision, it is classroom data. But if you are a traditional supervisor, you use observer's rating. So from here, you can really differentiate. Another value is focus. What is the focus of a clinical supervision? Limited specific concerns. While the traditional supervisor uses broad general concerns. Next value, frequency. For clinical supervisor, the frequency is based on need. But for traditional supervision, the frequency is based on policy. Next value is philosophy. For clinical supervision, it promotes independence. But for traditional supervision, it promotes dependence. Next value is process. For clinical supervision, it is cyclical. But for traditional supervision, linear. The final value is responsibility. For clinical supervision, responsibility is something that is shared between teacher and supervisor. While in traditional supervision, responsibility is supervisor's responsibility. Ladies and gentlemen, administration is a process with 6 elements. The first one is decision making, planning, organizing, communicating, coordinating, evaluation. These elements are process themselves. Let's talk about decision making. It implies the analysis of the alternatives, particularly the consequences in the future. Planning is concerned with the setting of goals, an organization, preparation of programs or course action designed to accomplish goals to plot the operation of the program. Organizing has to do with arrangements of functions of offices and personnel so as to reciprocal relations. Without communication in an organization, it is impossible for an organization to get things done effectively. I hope you agree with this. Next is coordinating. It aims to ensure smooth operation and performance of all sectors of the organization. The administrator's problems is how to make the people accept assignments willingly and to adjust their behavior to that of the group. In order to accomplish a group goals requires firm and fair exercise of authority and persuasive performance of leadership function. Let's go to evaluating. It pervades all the elements of the administration process. It aims to determine whether goals, long range or short range, are implemented. It points out the strengths and weaknesses of organizational operations and leads thereby the administrator to make more rational decisions. Elements of the administrative process. We speak of process as a sequence of behavior, one behavior leading to another. However, one cannot actually see the process as such. He can only infer it from the behavior manifested. Elements of the administrative process. The first one is decision making. This is the nerve center of administration, a switch throwing mechanism to administration. It is important because one's decisions affect or influence his subordinates' behavior. If the decision has made and pursued action, there is literally no turning back. Determine the relevant behavior alternatives. First, recall relevant information. Second, investigate so he can have additional information. Next, consult other people, including subordinates. Finally, evaluate the behavior alternatives. Define the behavior alternatives. Evaluate the behavior alternatives. Weigh advantages and disadvantages. I have here another case. Like for example, a high school principal has found after investigation that Holyu, a student in the fourth year, was guilty of tearing out pages of library reference book. When asked why he done it, he said, "I was behind in my work. I wanted to review for my examination." Give possible alternatives from dealing with this situation. Give example of personal experience in which one leads to another. I hope you will do it. Again, it starts with the planning, organizing, staffing, leading, and monitoring. Planning. If you are planning for 1 year, grow rice. If you are planning for 20 years, grow trees. If you are planning for centuries, grow men. This is according to a Chinese proverb. Plan? What is it? Goal? What is it? Objective? What is it? Those are part of planning. Objective, a clear, specific measuring post indicating progress towards achieving a short-term goal. Goal, an overall or longer-term aim providing focus for day-to-day activities. Plan, projected courses of action aimed at achieving future objectives. They provide clear goals and map the activities needed to achieve them efficiently and effectively. They are the propellers of an airplane or rudder of a ship. As an example, planning is critical for business. We have to organize our days, weekly, monthly, yearly, and long-range activities. Planning gives us direction and helps identify and focus important issues for business. It needs mission, smart plan, strategic plans. Values. What is important to a person or a company? Being impartial, free from discrimination, ethical, fair, flexible, safety, trust, customer focus. That is, according to Tylenol Challenge in 1980. Let's talk about vision. So in our school, we have the vision, mission, goal, and core values. Let's talk about vision. Where we are headed expresses what a business truly wants to achieve, aims to challenge, inspire, and stretch people in a company. Example, Disney's vision is to make people happy. Mission, how will we get there? The path to reach the vision. Administration of process, followed by initiates the planning of programs and strategies. Long range, on in-depth needs assessment based on clear goals and objectives. For short-term, immediate needs of the incoming school year. Developing a strategic plan. Number one, based on the values of the business. Number two, based on vision of the business. Number three, based on mission of the business. Number four, SWOT your business. So if you will say SWOT, the result of this is you love your business because SWOT comes from S, strengths, W, weaknesses, O, opportunities, and T, threats. So if you can balance all of these four, then it is enough to say that you love your business. Number five, focus on top important issues. Number six, design the objectives for the five above. This is your strategic objectives. You're going to refer from the first five that I discussed. Number seven, do a gap analysis. Number eight, get to work. Number nine, do the SMART plan. Though some of these words are repeatedly spoken and repeatedly stated here because these are important factors to make a successful business. Organizing. It is defining roles, responsibilities, and arranging and coordinating the resources needed to successfully carry out plans. Right people in the right seat in the bus called business. Staffing. What is staffing? Putting right people in the right position to ensure maximum effectiveness and efficiency in the organization. People are a hotel's most valuable resource. The hotel needs the right people to be attracted to join it. Then it is recruiting, training to do their jobs effectively, and treating them well to retain them. Losing employees is easy. Recruiting is twice as hard. Let's do a costing of recruitment. Leading. Leadership is about achieving business goals through the work of others, according to David Carpen. Trait approach focuses on personal qualities such as height, intelligence, genetic, and etc. Transformational approach leads the organization in new direction through leaders' talent and drive. Charismatic approach, another approach of leading, leads through personal magnetism, charm, and other qualities. Example, Steve Jobs of Apple Computers, G.W. Marriott of Marriott Hotels. Narcissistic approach is another kind. It leads through personal skills, magnetic attraction, and also are distrustful of others and consider themselves invincible. Example, Napoleon and Bill Gates. Styles of leadership. So try to choose where you fit with the styles of leadership. The first one is dictatorial, lead through force and threats. You do not lead by hitting people over the head. That is assault, not leadership, according to Eisenhower. Number two, authoritarian, task centered leaders want to control. Decision making is very limited. Number three, democratic, participative leadership, people centered style. Number four, laissez-faire, use delegation and leave employees to do their jobs with little or no input from themselves. Monitoring, how are we doing? Are we operating within the budget? Are we meeting our targets? It is keeping an eye on how the business is doing, checking on budgets, materials, costs, staff revenues, quality, safety measures, and others. How are we doing? Are we operating within the budget? Coordinating, standards are set, controls are observed so that group effort is integrated into a working unit. Unity of purpose is stressed. Coordination can be achieved through effective communication and good leadership. Evaluating. Evaluation in education has been defined as judging the worth of experience, idea, or process. In literature, it is referred as appraising. Criteria must be set to what extent and how well have the organization objectives been accomplished. For examples, did the pupils increase their competency in reading? Let's go to management. What is management? Management is not carrying out a prescribed task in a prescribed way. Management is setting directions, aims, and objectives, planning how progress will be made, organizing available resources, controlling the process, setting and improving organizational standards. Management functions according to modern authorities. We have three from Dale, from Massey, from Greenwood. For Dale, management is planning, organizing, staffing, directing, controlling. For Massey, decision making, organizing, controlling, directing, communicating. For Greenwood, planning, staffing, directing, controlling. So if we have noticed that there are some of the functions from the three of them are the same, are alike. Management concepts. So it started from inputs. Example, men, machine, materials, means, money, and methods. Then it climbs up to the next level, the process or functions. And then the highest level should be outputs, like results and benefits, for example, products, services, and best public image. The most important one is the best public image. We have to maintain or even improve that image. Human resource management is the effective management of people in an organization. Hence, it helps to gain a competitive advantage. It exists to improve the skills and knowledge of people in an organization. Hence, its aim is to maximize an individual's ability. This will make the individual work in the best way possible. Human resource management ultimate aim is to help the organization to achieve success. Therefore, it prepares people for this aim. Human resource management in schools leads to starting and operating a school. It helps in using human resources of school in the best way. The important people can be the principal, teachers, business staff. Hence, human resource in schools is very important to focus on. Need for human resources management in school. The need to apply human resources management in schools is significantly recognized. Human resources in school are plenty. Hence, it becomes very important to effectively manage them. This is where HR team plays an important role. Help in better development of students. Human resources management can help in increasing student performance. This happens due to the involvement and motivation of the teachers. Furthermore, human resource management also tries to make teachers more efficient. Efficient teachers help in better development of students. Attention is also given hiring and retaining the best principal and business staff. These people are responsible for the administration of the school. So, an efficient human resource management system would mean an efficient administration. Any problems between teachers are readily met due to human resources management. Proper training of teachers happens due to HRM. HRM pays attention to any shortcomings of students. The HR team identifies the reason for this. Once identified, trained teachers can then handle the problem. The process of human resources management with regard to school are the following. First, recruitment and hiring. These are the most important decisions made by the schools. The hiring process should take place before the new term. The important things to consider here. So in this particular discussion, Deep Ed has no major problem about hiring and recruitment because everything is done in different levels. Although the school will do only the school-based ranking, and then there is a committee formed. Then the result will be submitted to the district ranking committee, finally to the division ranking committee. These things that I am talking about is useful for people who are handling private institutions or private schools. So let us continue. Recruitment and hiring develop a position description. It should be accurate and well written. This description helps to clarify the skills, knowledge, and experience needed. Advertise the position. Choose a media like newspaper, magazine, electronic media. Receive and screen applications to choose suitable candidates. Conduct interviews with suitable candidates to make a selection decision. Talent management. The HR team finds out the opportunities and challenges for the school. Hence, the preparation of human resources takes place accordingly in this way. Compensation. Compensation means to manage the payroll of the school. The HR team decides about the salary of the teachers or staff. Furthermore, human resources get salary according to the level of work. For example, a principal should receive more salary than a teacher. Performance management. This is yet another important part of HRM in schools. This is because good performance is very important. So the performance of teachers or students comes into view. Here, performance scoring system is present, just like what we have in the classroom observation tool. So, nowadays scoring system for the principal to follow in scoring during the observation of the teacher. The improvement of performance takes place in many ways. Each art team must provide training to teachers to improve them. So we call this professional development because a teacher is not only good as a teacher through his life, he needs more training and new learning, especially that we are in the new era of technological advancements. This way, they can impart education in a better way. Teachers must reach full development level. This will be beneficial for students. Also, the training of the staff takes place. So, retention, why we need to retain teachers. Teachers and staff morale should always be high. The HR team should motivate them. Retaining a happy employee will probably be easier. Unhappy employees are likely to leave. So this is very true. So that would be all for this morning, Mampubar and my fellow doctorants. And my references are Arthur Khan, Teacher Space, July 8th, 2019. And Dr. Alan S. Macaray, Education Program Supervisor, DepEd San Carlos City, Pangasinan, NIAP Trainer Region 1. Thank you and have a good day, all.